Hello, my name is Sergio Batarelli. I want to introduce you myself to let you know about my fighting career and my history on the combat sport industry. I started practicing martial arts in 1970 with Kung Fu Tyson style that I became a master. When I had a gym in Brazil, Kung Fu gym, I became also a world record breaking ice bar. The ice bars, I saw one time on a South African on TV breaking 10 bars, 5 and 5. Then I called the Brazilian TV and said I can do better. And I broke 7 and 7 and became a world recordist. So after that, I started training boxing and I became a Brazilian amateur heavyweight boxing champion. After that, I saw on TV a fight of, at that time, in the 70s, they call Killer Karate with Ben Urquidez, Bill Superfoot Wallace, and many others. And then I start training by myself, and I develop a fighting system that I call Batarelli fighting system. And I became a Brazilian champion, South America champion, intercontinental champion, and world champion. And I teach a lot of people. I did at least 3 world champions, and was a fruitful career as a trainer, as a fighter. But my connection with the Vale Tudo in Brazil comes before that. I think it was 1980 in Rio de Janeiro. I fought Rei Zulu. And that was main event. That same show, Marco Ruas fought Flavio Molina, and Eugenio Tadeu fought Pitangui, because it was a challenge between luta livre and jiu-jitsu. But I was the only guy that accepted fight Rei Zulu. Rei Zulu fought Rickson Gracie before. And I have no idea what Vale Tudo was and the efficiency of grappling. Then you can search the fight on YouTube, you see the fight, Batarelli against Rei Zulu. And I lost the fight. He put me to sleep, but was a very good experience, and I fall in love for the sport. And then I went to train jiu-jitsu with Flavio Berighi in Rio de Janeiro. Every weekend I fly to Rio to learn jiu-jitsu, just to make the rematch. When time comes, Zulu say no, he didn't want to make a rematch with me. Then I was talking with the TV people. TV people said to me, why don't you fight your sport, kickboxing? Then I started fighting kickboxing, and as I said, I became Brazilian champion, South America champion, intercontinental champion, and world champion. After that, when I finished my career, I defended my title 9 times. I went to Japan to be a referee, and I liked the organization of the event, and I decided to create my own show in Brazil that I call it IVC, International Vale Tudo Championship. IVC was considered at that time, 1997 to 1999, as the most violent sport in the earth, because I was the referee to make sure the rules will be accomplished. The fight is no rounds, it's just one round, but 30 minutes, 3-0, 30 minutes round with just a few prohibition, like pulling the hair, bite, eye gouging, fishing hook, and fishing in other parts of the body, like the anus. I'm not joking, it's true, was prohibited. And the groin was okay to kick on the ground, jump, everything is allowed. And I do always 8-man tournament. 4 Brazilian, normally 4 American. I brought guys at the top of their career, like Dan Severn, a UFC champion, and Chuck Liddell fought in Brazil in my show. Pelé started in my show. Vanderlei Silva became famous on IBC. Arthur Mariano and many others. And all the IBC champions has 2 ways. Or they went to Japan, to Pride. At that time, Pride was the biggest event in the world. Or the UFC, that was the second one. The IBC was considered the 3rd event in the world. Pride, UFC, IBC. And I started going to Japan. I brought Vanderlei to Japan. The first 2 fights was with me on the corner as a manager and mentor. And then I had some problems with his trainer, and we split. I never had a problem with Vanderlei. My problem was with his trainer. Even Rafael Cordeiro fought in IBC. He fought twice. On the tournament he lost, but the other one he won the super fight and became IBC world champion. Just to tell a story about many fighters that now are legend that they all start in Brazil. Carlos Barreto fought a lot in IBC. Walid Ismail fought in IBC. De Pedro, Joyu, and many others. So, when I went to Japan, I start talking with people, then give some ideas. Then one day the K1 hired me. K1 was at that time the biggest fighting show in the world, the biggest organization. It's almost the same as UFC is today, but there is not money like today, but was a good money at that time. And then K1 hired me. I stopped doing my promotion in Brazil and became the K1 World Vice President to taking care of MMA. I developed the MMA in K1. And I was the person responsible to get Mirko Krokop, Bob Sapp, Mike Bernardo, and many other K1 stars, and make them fight in MMA style in the Pride ring and also K1 MMA ring. I was the strategist. I hired trainers and say to trainers, I want you to do this and this and that. With Mirko, I want this and this and that. The Mirko, we basically just teach him how to avoid to be taken down. If he was taken down, how to get on his feet again. And Mirko at that time became the #1 fighter in the world. Then he lost to Minotauro, but that is the story. Bob Sapp was the same, and other many guys. So then I come back to Brazil after 4 years in Japan, and I start working with boxing. Then my main goal was to make boxing big in Brazil. And I start promoting female boxing, and I made the first female, not Brazilian, because Duda Jankovic was from Croatia. And at that time, she was not, she hadn't have citizenship, so, but she went, he became a world champion. Then I helped Roseletti became a world champion. She was Brazilian, and many others. And then female boxing in Brazil was very popular because I put that shows on free TV, terrestrial. Then we start working with boxing. Then I went to Vegas. I met a guy in Top Rank, Brad Goodman. I learned a lot with Brad Goodman, the matchmaker of Top Rank. And I learned how to promote things, and then I come back to Brazil and start promoting. Then I became a manager for Esquiva Falcão, the first silver medal in Brazil in Olympic Games. And we start working until he fought for the world title in Germany in 2023. 1st of July 2023 in Düsseldorf, Germany. And he lost by points. And I also became a promoter of the first Olympic golden medal, the Brazilian Robson Conceição. We signed a deal with Top Rank, and I worked with as his manager, and Robson became a world champion, WBC world champion. We don't work together anymore, but I started with him as a professional from the ground zero, from the scratch, with his first fight. Then I decided to move to USA, and I'm here for 1 year already. 1 year, 14 months, living in Fort Lauderdale. That I love it, the temperature, the sun, and everything. And I'm decided to start teaching. I start a new business in America as a trainer. Also, if someone is interested, as a manager, and maybe as a promoter, as I was promoting in Brazil, UFC, IVC promotion, and I was the first UFC Brazil promoter. I brought UFC to Brazil in 1995, and I create a show in Brazil. At that time was the biggest boxing show in South America, called Boxing for You. So I wanted to do all those things here in America. So if you have an interest in to have a trainer, manager, or promoter, you can contact me in my Instagram page. That is my last name, Batarelli. Send me a direct message and we talk.